This is Mari Lane from the Buying Space channel. Today is Ash Wednesday. Today is the first day of Lent. And today is the day we remember the death of Jesus Christ and the sacrifice he made. I'm reading to you from Matthew chapter 6, starting in verse 16. And whenever you fast, do not look dismal like the hypocrites, for they disfigure their faces so as to show others they are fasting. Truly, I tell you, they have received a reward. But you fast, put on your head and wash your face, so that your fasting may be seen not by others, but by your Father, who is in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you. So if you're fasting today, if you're fasting during Lent, this is saying, don't brag about it. Somebody invites you to lunch today and you can't go because you're fasting, you can say, I'm fasting today because it's Lent. And it's not a good time. Or you could just say it's not a good time. And you don't have to tell them. You know, the people, he's talking about the hypocrites that go around, oh, I'm fasting, I'm such a good Christian. Those people, those hypocrites. Yes, I'm fasting. I'll tell other people I'm fasting. But I don't say it like I'm better than anybody else. So I'm probably better off not saying it all, just like it says here in Matthew. Although I did have said it on my channel when I'm fasting and when I'm not. But if I act like, it's a trial and tribulation, then people are going to say, I really don't want to be Christian. Look at what they go through for Lent. But for the record, I'm not Catholic. I don't have to do Lent. I do Lent because I want to do Lent. But when I do Lent, I can't act like it's a trial or tribulation, even though there are times that it's like, oh, I have to eat a little bit because I have a health condition. But it's me trying to have a good relationship with God by showing Him that I'm willing to sacrifice. And I do that to have joy and happiness in my Christianity. I don't know if that makes any sense to any of you. But I can't lament and have a sad face when I go into my church to get the ashes put on me for the first time in my life. I'm going to have almost like a sense of pride. Maybe I shouldn't. Should I have a sense of pride about it? This is the very first time I'm doing that. And it's so significant to me in my life. But I don't know. This is saying not to say you're fasting at all. Of course, that's not the same thing as going and getting ashes for the first time in your life. Certainly, when you join a church and you get baptized, you tell people about it. Certainly, when you become born again, you tell people about it. And this is specifically saying not to tell people you're fasting. It's like if you want to truly be generous to somebody, you don't expect a gift back. And maybe you even give them the gift without telling them who it's from, like an anonymous gift, like leaving something on somebody's porch or desk and not leaving a note, or just leaving a little note that, this is for you from God, or this is especially for you because you deserve it, without expecting any reciprocity. But God sacrificed his only son on the cross. So giving up something for Lent or fasting is a minimal sacrifice comparatively. So I'd look at fasting and giving up something for Lent as gratitude to God. But I am going through these things for the first time in my life. I was a Christian from 5 years of age to 15 years of age, and then I became an atheist. And I didn't become Christian again until 2020. And all of this is old to me, but all of this is new. And the denomination I belonged to when I was a child did not observe Lent. I barely knew what it was. And I studied the Bible a lot. I was the kid that won the Bible contest. And I knew theology really well. And I studied theology even as an atheist. I had read the Biblical Archaeological Review when I was a young teen and was looking for evidence or proof of God at that age. And so I continued that as an atheist. Of course, I was looking at it from the other side of the coin at that point. But I still studied archaeology and theology. They still were interests of mine, even when I was an atheist. So I didn't stop seeking or studying during that time, or just ignoring the existence of religion, in addition to ignoring the existence of God during that time. But I came back to God, and now I am studying. I guess I got makeup work to do, is how to say it. But I didn't know this about fasting. And I've never really fasted in my life for God. So this is something that God considers we should be private about. Except out of functionality. If you're fasting, you're diabetic and you pass out, or you're having an episode because of your diabetes, you have to say, well, I haven't had any food. I've been fasting. So you have to, or if somebody invites you to lunch, you're like, no, thank you, I'm fasting. It's not a good time. But that's not like going like a Pharisee or Sadducees to the temple and bragging to everyone and, wailing and acting like it's a tribulation to fast for God. That's different. Maybe that's what he's talking about here in this gospel. Not to be seen by others, but your Father. That means no one. So if somebody asks you to lunch today and you're fasting, you just have to say, it's not a good time. I can't do that today. Wow, I never realized that about fasting. Well, you live, you study, you learn. Have a wonderful and blessed day, everyone.